Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So, today we begin, right? Every day we wake up and we have a new opportunity to create something brand new, to do it differently, or to do it the same. However, we want to do it. But can we really do it the same? Because hopefully, I've learned and grown a little bit between yesterday and today. I've changed a little bit, become a little more joyful, maybe a little sadder this morning. Maybe I woke up cranky. Anybody else wake up cranky? I do from time to time. See, every day I get the chance to create it. And this month we've been talking about approaching wealth and abundance from an inner place, about creating a more abundant life, but maybe in a slightly different way than we've talked about it before. Approaching it from a place as I've looked at it over the course of the month, and Reverend Jill's looked at it over the course of the month, where we first seek a sense of alignment and attunement with a greater idea of ourselves, of finding a sense of harmony with whatever it is we say our higher power is, with a divine life and love and truth and beauty, where we come into alignment with ourselves and grow from there. From kind of a New Testament perspective, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all things shall be added unto you. If I come into alignment with the flow, then the flow expands. In modern terms, we say what we give our attention to grows. Like where our attention grows, energy flows. Anybody heard that one? What we give our attention to tends to grow and expand. So what am I giving my attention to? Am I focusing more on what's working, or am I focusing more on what's not working? Seems to me sometimes in my life it's been quite easy to look at what's not working because it grabs my attention. What if I were to shift that to some degree and all of a sudden I'm paying more attention to what's working? I'm walking through my life being grateful for the good. So Ernest Holmes, founder of Centers for Spiritual Living, author of The Science of Mind and various other books that we refer to time and time again, towards the end of his life spoke at a retreat in Monterey, a place called the Silomar, and he said the following. And bear with me, it's a longer quote, so hang in there. He says, what I'm saying is this. There is a law that backs up the vision, and the law is immutable. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. There is a power transcendent beyond our needs, our little wants. Demonstrating a dime is good if one needs it, or healing oneself of a pain is certainly good if one has it. But beyond that, at the real feast at the tabernacle of the Almighty, in the temple of the living God, in the banquet hall of heaven, there is something beyond anything that you and I have touched. Find 1,000 people who know that, and the world will no longer be famished. How important it is that each of us, excuse me, each of us in a simple way shall live from God to God, with God, in God, and to each other. That is why we are here. And we are taking back with us, I trust, a vision and an inspiration, something beyond a hope and a longing that the living Spirit shall through us walk anew into its own creation and a new glory come with a new dawn. Now I'll be referring to pieces of that throughout the message this morning. What is he talking about? For me, he's talking about exactly what Deepak Chopra has been talking about in our book this month. That there's a larger life for all of us. And when we seek that larger life, when we come into alignment with what we say our higher power is, then everything else is taken care of. That when we focus on who and what we are, we focus on the divine idea of what we are, then we are led to make the choices necessary to experience the expansion of life. To have a greater experience of this thing we call God. In all of its form, is in all of its expressions. The first part of that quote says, there is a law that backs up our vision, and the law is immutable. We're talking about cause and effect. A mental cause, a spiritual cause back of our experience. Just as Deepak Chopra was talking about karma and dharma. That there is something in this life that responds to us, and when we shift our thinking, when we change our inner dialogue, our inner conversation with ourselves and with our higher power, then that law says yes. It's like, so I have my Kempo uniform on today. I pulled it out of the closet. This is the very same gi I wore when I tested, and I got this black belt. I earned this belt at the age of 38. I started my martial arts journey at the age of 12. And I started and I stopped, and I started and I stopped, and I started and I stopped. And finally, in my early 30s, when I moved to Seal Beach, California from here, the center I was serving at that time was literally 300 yards from this studio right here. And I said, aha, the stars have aligned and I can do this. Finally, I can finish this thing. Because I had a vision of it. And I made it. And I've got pictures and all, It's a long story. I can tell you all the story another time. We don't have time for that whole story. The point is that the vision that was born in me at the age of 12 finally fulfilled itself. The way was made clear. We don't know when these things will happen. We don't necessarily know all the hows and whys and wherefores. And sometimes it takes time for the pieces to fall into place to say, here, this is the opportunity. The opportunity presents itself, and I have the consciousness and the awareness enough to say, aha, there's the open door, where maybe previously I had seen a closed window. That shift happens, that inner shift happens inside of me that all of a sudden opens the door of opportunity, where maybe that door was always open, but I just did not have the agency to see it. Maybe I just couldn't see it. Because my consciousness was not in the right place for me to be able to see it. Deepak Chopra says this in our book of the month. Even though spirit abandons no one, the path to mature, lasting spirituality, to wisdom itself, begins when you listen to the music inside. The music inside. What is that? What is that for you? What is the music for you? What is it about life that sings to you? That song's going to be a little bit different for everybody, isn't it? For some, it's Chopin. For some, it's Mozart. For some, it's Disturbed or the Beatles or Shinedown. I'm a big Shinedown fan, in case you lately, especially. Anyway, but what is the music that speaks to you? What is that inner harmony? What are the qualities of life that really allow you to have that sense of joy or happiness or peace? How is it that you want to behave in life? How is it that you want to experience in life? Because whatever that is, that vision is born in me, and I get to make the choices that lead in that direction. And like I said, maybe some days I wake up and I just haven't got it. Maybe some days waking up and moving through the day in just such a way is enough. And maybe some days I wake up and I'm motivated and I'm like, man, I am going to get after it today. I'm going to make a list. That's my key. If I can make a list, it happens. Ask anybody who knows me really well and say, oh, Lee, do you have a list? Yes, I have a list. So out of the way. What are the keys for you? What is that trigger in you that really motivates you to get up and get out and get it done? What are the behaviors, the little practices that you have that will inspire you to move forward and really make the change? He says, because when I take the time to become rooted in goodness, to really ground in what I know to be true about life, things happen. Because when I become really committed to change, it happens. And sometimes it's scary, and sometimes exciting, sometimes it's inspiring. Sometimes I know I'm holding on by the skin of my teeth to what has gone before, and then I finally let it go. I let go of the way of being that has been so very comfortable up until now in favor of something greater, grander, more expansive that says, this is me now. No longer do I have to hold on to the old ways that no longer serve me. They can't move into this next thing with me because I have to make room for that something more. Ernest Holmes says there is a power transcendent beyond our needs and our little wants. Can I embrace something more? Because there's a power in me that says there is something greater. There's a power in me that says I can be more. There's a power in me that's talking to me in the back of my head and in my heart that says, dude, get on with it. Anybody else heard that? I heard that voice this week. I did. Been working through some stuff, and it's like, oh, wake up. I had some occurrences that really, I had to, I don't know. No, I'm not going to get into it. Suffice to say, I had a visit from my team leader this week, and it was great. I was really anxious about it. And it was like, but it was wonderful. It was a nice visit. He's a nice young guy, da, 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 da. But I was really nervous about it. I was like, really, dude? Get over it. You're doing your job. Yeah, the hospitals, the locations are really not up to your own standards, but hey, you had surgery and you were off for 6 weeks. It's okay that things aren't perfect. It's okay to be human. I know, right? It's okay to be human. And at the same time, understand that there's a greater idea of me that is being birthed each and every day. Deepak Chopra goes on to say in the book, nothing you really value in your present life, a loving relationship, a good family, worthwhile and rewarding work, and the time to enjoy these things come by chance. They grew out of desire and intention. What is the desire of your heart? What is the intention that you are going to set for yourself today? It's like the question I often use with myself and with people that I work with and students and so forth. What does a life worth living look like to you? Hold that vision. What does that life look like? What does that life feel like? Hold that vision. Hold true to that. Give that idea attention. Focus on that, not what's not everything else. Stay focused on what does this life worth living look like for me? What does it feel like for me? And then see what happens. And be willing to let go. Be willing to set things aside. Be willing to simplify, all the things. Be willing to take just a little step forward every day and see what happens. Ernest Holmes goes on to say how important it is that each of us in our own simple way shall live from God, to God, with God, in God, and to each other. What is he saying there? Live from God, to God, with God, in God, and for each other. God is all there is. And when I stop and allow myself to recognize and acknowledge it in absolutely everything and everyone, and here's the big part, including you and me. Including you and me. Including the people I may not agree with, including the people that I celebrate on a day-to-day basis, including the people that I don't approve of, and those that I love deeply. All the people, places, and things, it is in it all. God is present at each and every point without exception. Without exception. And it is love and light and peace and beauty and health and wealth and abundance and joy and prosperity and all of that. And it is the laughter we share and the tears we cry. It is all of it. And all of that experience, all of that expression is the activity of God. And when I recognize it and celebrate it and open to the flow and then an expanding awareness of the flow of it, then the abundance in life, the wealth and health and prosperity in life, it all flows too. Because if what I look for, what I'm seeking is an expansion of this experience, is an expansion of my life, and the fulfillment and manifestation of a vision I hold, and I accept it and know that I am worthy of it, then all the resources necessary show up. all of it. And the way is made clear. Moses afraid, Spirit goes before me, making plain and safe my way. Always. Deepak Chopra goes on to say this: wisdom needs no outward show because nothing is happening outwardly. The soul's love is experienced when we go to an unchanging place beyond all worlds, blessed or troubled. Wisdom needs no outward show because nothing is happening outwardly. The soul's love is experienced when we go to an unchanging place. It's all happening right inside here. We experience our lives on the inside. We see it out here, but it's all happening in here. I make my assessments, my judgments, my celebrations, my angst, all of my experience, the anger, the love, the joy, all of it, all the feelings, all the emotions, where do they happen? They happen right here. And I get to choose how to frame it. I get to choose how to respond. I get to choose all of it. And to the degree I become more conscious and aware of of all of those dynamics, to the degree that I can let go of all the old ideas about how I'm supposed to be, to the degree I can let go of all the stories I've been told about who and what I am, and make real, clear, and conscious choices about how I choose, how I want to be today, how free I want to experience myself, how joyful I want to walk in the world. I make conscious choices rather than responding in some semi-automatic or automatic triggered way based on all the stories of limitation I've told, all the pain and suffering I've had. Am I responding and reacting out of trauma, or am I choosing from a deeper, more expansive idea of what I am? The way forward is one of conscious choosing. The way forward is a way of freedom that says, you know what? I am not a prisoner of my past any longer. I choose a more tuned, awake awareness of life. That is the choice I make for myself today. That is the choice I invite all of us to make for ourselves today. How much more awake and aligned and attuned with spirit can I be? And how willing am I to embrace a larger vision of my life and who and what I am? Just like Ernest encouraged the people of Silomar to do in this final quote. He says, "That is why we are here. And we are taking back with us, I trust, a vision and an inspiration, something beyond a hope and a longing. That the living Spirit shall, through us, walk anew into its creation, and a new glory come with a new dawn." Even then, somewhat, long time ago. I think it was 1958. So some 66 years ago. He was inviting us to have a larger vision of what's possible for ourselves, of what's possible for humankind, of what's possible for us. Just as Deepak Chopra in our book of the month is inviting us to live a more aligned, more aware, more awake life, so too Ernest Holmes, inviting us to have a larger vision of who and what we are, of what's possible for our lives. What's the way forward from here? The way forward from here is a way that says, I am more than I appear to be. Today, the possibility exists for me to be more loving, more joyful, more happy in life, to live in greater alignment with what I hold to be true about myself, what I hold to be true about spirit as it expresses through me. To know that all that I say to be true about God is true of me. Can I awaken to that today? To that today. And so I invite you to look at our practice for this week. This week, I invite us to embrace the paradox of being present and looking forward at the same time. So this week, the practice is to begin the day contemplating the idea of what is possible today beyond what has been. The simple idea with a lot of potential. What is possible today beyond what has been? Okay. So now it's your turn. Questions, comments, sharing, anything, anybody.
You're scaring us with your black belt.
No. There will be no showing off by the black belt. Okay. Well, cool then. We will pray. We will take this, we will pray, and we will take these ideas and go forward into the week with them. And today, let's begin with gratitude. Gratitude for this moment, gratitude for the opportunity we have each and every week and every time we gather together to learn, to grow, to awaken. We begin by recognizing that there is a power and presence greater than we are, and we can use it. And this power and presence is love and peace and joy. It is health and wholeness. It is abundance and prosperous at every point. And we are in it, and it is in us, as us, right here and right now. We see it showing up for us in our experience each and every day. I recognize it in you and you in me, as me. And so today we move forward into this day and the rest of this week in recognition of the activity of Spirit in all we see, in all we do, in all that we experience. And we know and invite a blessing not only on each other, but on this life we live, on our spiritual community, the Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. We know that it and each and every one of us is prospered. And we move forward with a sense of joy and love and expansion, knowing that all is well, that life is good and very, very good as every one of us. And I speak this word today for anybody who may have a concern on their minds or hearts today, knowing and trusting that all is well. That if there's something going on physically, I know that every cell and fiber of our being is alight and alive with the love and joy of Spirit. That everything is in perfect alignment, that the divine idea of my physical being is brought forth in this moment. I know that if there are any doubts or concerns about the life we live, we set them aside right now going forward, knowing that the truth of Spirit of God goes before me, sweeping aside anything unlike itself. For there is nothing outside of the realm of Spirit. And knowing this, I know that all is well. That life is good and very good, as and for, in, through, and around each and every one of us here, those watching online, no matter where they are. And so, with gratitude and joy in my heart, I know that we let this go and let it be, knowing that the words I speak are already fulfilled within the mind and heart of Spirit. And so we let it be, and so it is.